Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Katelyn from Florals.com and welcome back to another minimal mixed media episode. Today we're tackling two stencils on one layout. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I'm going to show you how you can use stencils in two different ways on the same layout. But if you're a little intimidated to do that, you can always just try one of these techniques at a time. And I'll be doing several multi-technique layouts in the future, so hopefully you guys can get some inspiration of a bunch of different techniques in the same video and apply them separately or together if you are willing to take the mixed media plunge with me. But today I'm going to start with this Hampton Art stencil, which is a self-adhesive stencil. Now this one wasn't too sticky, so I wasn't worried about it ripping my purple cardstock here. And then of course I had to pick out the perfect purple distress ink and simply just rub the ink over it. Now luckily this is one that is self-adhesive, but if you guys aren't working with a self-adhesive stencil, definitely washi tape it down when you are inking. I find ink blending and painting to be the ones where it moves the most on accident over other types of processes like you'll see today. So I peeled up my stencil and now I'm just going to wipe it off with a dry cloth just to get off the excess ink. Since it does have a backer sheet, I want to make sure that it's not destroyed by water. And then here I break out the second stencil, but we're not going to put it directly on the background like we did with the first stencil. We're actually going to overlay it a little bit between some of our paper layers. So I did take a piece of butterfly paper from my DCWV watering can paper stack. If you guys haven't seen my August kit share, definitely check that out. It'll be linked down below and you guys can see all of the products I put in my kit this month. I also have all of the products linked down below in case you guys are interested in seeing anything that I've used in today's video. And I'll also have the minimal mixed media playlist linked down below so you guys can catch previous episodes and future episodes if you're watching this in the future. But to get started, I'm using some of the scraps from the Lucky Charm paper pad and just matting my photo onto them, nothing too crazy. I've done some different videos on Patreon about paper layering and different ways you can make it work for you. So if you guys are interested in that, you can check that out. But no rhyme or reason, mostly color and pattern are what I go for. And this photo is of me and one of my very good childhood friends, Danielle. And this was during the 100-day celebration of our high school senior year. And it's just a really good photo of us. First of all, I think I look really good. She looks really good. And I wanted to make sure that I documented this relationship still being there despite not, being prevalent throughout my entire scrapbooks. So that's what this layout kind of is, kind of coming together at the end of our schooling and just this picture. So I'm going to pull out this Echo Park stencil and my Vicky Bouton scraper and my Heidi Swap metallic gold modeling paste. Now this is where the fun begins, and you can see my stencil is going to cover both papers. We have the butterflies on the left, the cardstock on the right, and it can be intimidating to go over multiple edges, but luckily with a medium that is thick, like a modeling paste, like a gel medium, you can get a lot more control with it over a liquid, such as a spray or a mist. And as you see there, another blunder, I dropped my stencil face down on top of my layout. Luckily, not too much of it transferred, and I planned on stenciling up here anyway. And if you guys do have smaller stencils like this, don't be afraid to repeat the stencil later on the layout. Here I do it 3 times and do this nice diagonal approach. And you also want to be careful with square stencils because sometimes you can make the pattern seem super repetitive if you fill it all the way out to the full square footage of it. So make sure you're kind of giving it an organic look by not filling in the entire stencil. And not all of your images from the stencil need to be complete. There are halfway hearts on here. There's a lot of different things on here that don't look perfect, and that's the good thing about mixed media and scrapbooking. If you do mixed media first, if you do mixed media in the middle or towards the end, there is always an option to cover it up if you don't like it, whether it's with stickers, embellishments, more paper, lots of different options for how to edit it. But for now, I really like how it turned out, and I did give it ample time to dry during a little break there. And as you can tell, when you're doing stenciling, it'll be more prominent on flatter colors or plain cardstock like it is on the right-hand side. But there's also something special about putting a stencil onto the background of a pattern paper. So I really like the look of it. It again has so much more texture and dimension in person. And I just think it looks so nice, especially the gold amongst all those fun butterfly colors. But here's where the fun and the most laborious part of this layout began, was with these Project LYFT rub-ons. So I ended up picking out a couple of them. I used that camera because it's a nice gold color. I wanted to use some of those hearts and those arrows, but I knew they were going to get on my nerves. So I decided to start working on some of the other embellishments in my kit. I pull out some Altenew ephemera pieces and try to figure out which title I want and what kind of color scheme I want to finalize with. So I end up pulling out a journaling spot and a title that says "You Are So Special," which works perfectly for the theme of this layout, you know, just capturing a friendship. And then I also pull out my Jelly Bean Soup 6x12 sticker sheet and pull in more of that green color. I think it is so very pretty. And then diving into my stash, because as many of you guys know, I'm a big kit cheater. Despite having a kit to focus on, I always manage to reach outside of it more than once, more than twice, several times per layout. And I pull out this quick doily, which technically isn't cheating, but it is a specialty type of doily, which I cut to use in 2 places, including filling that awkward space in that photo frame from the Jelly Bean Soup sticker sheet set. So here I'm going to glue down the photo and the doily with it, just to add a little pop of pink and a little bit more sparkle, because it does have some gold foil dots on it. And I also have it fill the rest of this frame pretty much. Just a little peek of the pattern paper comes through, thanks to the doily eating up a lot of that awkward space that was there behind the journaling block and behind the title piece that I'm using from Altenew. And again, the pop of green is slightly different than the color scheme of the butterflies, but there's still so much green happening that I think it still helps both of them pop in the long run in terms of bringing that color directly into the color scheme of the rest of the layout. Here's where I grab another rub-on and just go at it. One thing you might want to do if you're having trouble with rub-ons is kind of heating them up either with the warmth of your mouth, like if you were fogging up a window, or you might want to try doing it with your hands. So you can rub your hands on both sides of the packaging before you take the rub-on out, and you can sometimes satisfy it works a little bit better sometimes that way. It's not tried and true, but sometimes, occasionally, it'll work. Next, I pull out some Jelly Bean Soup puffy stickers, and these are the bee's knees. These will definitely be in my favorites next month when I talk about all the things I loved in September, but I pulled out some orange ones, some green ones, again, accenting the colors that are in the pattern paper on the left-hand side of this layout. And here's where I start going through my Jen Hadfield sticker book, and this is where I struggled because a lot of the colors weren't right for this particular page. It's definitely a different color scheme altogether, so I think it was a little bit interesting to try to make it work. I do pull out one of these washi tape strips, which is a black and white stripe, just for additional contrast because we do have so much black and darkness with that pattern paper. I thought introducing another pattern with a similar dark contrast would be really good. And I end up finding these phrase stickers, which are not totally dark black, but sort of a charcoal dark gray that work really well, again, pulling in that contrast from the background paper to the rest of the elements of the layout. And here I pull in some daisies. I thought these were super cute, light and fun, and there's actually flowers on my dress. Now, I don't think they're daisies, but it does help mimic the florals in my dress, in the pattern paper in the background. You know, there's a lot going on. But I've definitely been in the mindset of maximalism lately, so if you guys didn't know, I do have Patreon mini lessons for my top tier. So if you guys are looking to try out some sort of class type, I think it's a pretty good value to get an hour, if not 2 hours sometimes, of class content every month. And maximalism was our theme last month, and I am definitely giving tons of examples now that I've gone through that, you know, sort of maximalism mindset myself and apply it to my layouts recently. But here is the completed layout. 2 stencils, 2 techniques, all in one. Don't forget to check out all of the links down below, including resources for how you can help all of the people who are being affected by the wildfires right now. It's a crazy time, and I hope you are all staying well and staying safe amongst all the disasters that are currently happening. But thank you so much for watching. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!